What up everyone, it's your man X-Man87 here, bringing you another G.I. Joe classified video, and what I have for you today is the Hasbro Pulse exclusive G.I. Joe classified series Cobra H.I.S.S 788 Fireteam Techno-Viper and H.M.S review. Gotta love all these art packages that go all together with the H.I.S team. Doesn't create a mural or anything, but I like how thematic it is. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up, like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's go! Taking a look at the Techno-Viper, fully geared up with all his accessories stored on him, and normally I start these reviews taking a look at the figure first stripped down, then do the accessory segment later. But we're just going to take a look at the accessories along the way, and he just looks so damn cool, fully geared up. And so he is in his fire team colors to match the rest of the team. It is the same sculpt as the one with the OG purple colors. So I love the OG purple colors more, but this one looks so freaking badass. Something about red and black combo that just gets me all the time. The head sculpt is nice. I like the helmet design. You get your fire team colors with the red, the blacks, the light grays, and the dark grays. You get some silver thrown in there as well. Unfortunately, the silver paint right there is overlapping the trimming, and the yellow eyes look nice. You get the Cobra insignia nicely painted on the chest, and the shoulder pauldrons with some red and blacks. You get a lot of tubes here. Yeah, tubes, tubing, tubing. Tubing on the forearms, tubing. Lots of tubing here. And I really like his backpack. There's a lot of details on here, as you can see. Some paint applied as well, like his mini fuel tanks that are in red or whatever these are called. And they can also store his tools because he needs this as field maintenance. Yeah, different tools here, so these are nice. I'm just going to put these back and they slide in with a nice grip to them. He's got a handle right there at the bottom. He's got this power hose right here. Again, nicely painted. It connects to his rifle. So I do like the way this rifle looks. Has a port right there. So you can plug in some muzzle effects or whatever you like. And the power hose is nice and pliable. You don't have to worry about it hindering when posing this figure. As you can see, it's nicely pliable. He's got some nice layers to him, adding some more tech parts like these wristbands. Got more tubes there, but you can see these scanners on both sides. So this side, you could clearly see the word Cobra on there with the Cobra logo painted. Nice metallic gold paint there too. On the other side, you can see there's like a globe on there. And this right here, I love. You got this translucent data pad that acts like a hologram. You can see all the details on here. It's just so nice the way light bounces off of it, and it's a lot lighter than the purple Techno-Viper one. So you can see this one's a lot darker and it doesn't pop as much like this. So for photography, you know, this just works better. And it pops in and out. So there's this hole right here that you plug it into. On the other side, there's a hole as well, so if you want to plug it into that side, you can do that. It's got trigger hands, got some red painted on there, and the legs look great. I do like the way they came out. He has this thigh holster strap connected to the belt, and I do like that. You got his handgun right here. Again, there's a port, so if you want to connect some muzzle effects, just like the rifle, you can. And there is no paint on the belt or anything like that. I like the sculpt on the legs. The one thing they did better here with this figure than the classic purple one is the joints, the knee joints right here. As you can see, the knee joint is in all black, where this right here is in gray to match the rest of the pants. So yeah, man, I don't know why they did this. They should have just kept the front of the knee pad black right here and the rest in purple, because seeing that, like a black stripe on the back of the legs right there, it's not a good look to it. That bothers me. I don't know if it bothers you. Just got to point that out. And then you got the boots looking nice. Nice pattern with these boots. It almost look like tape wrappings at first right here, but they're not. And yeah, some cool looking boots, and that's about it. Oh, one more thing. I know I mentioned it earlier about the handle being on the bottom of the backpack, but just wanted to show you if you want them holding it like a toolbox, here you go. So give them some more versatility and Also, if the tube bothers you right here, you can also unplug it. So play with him however you like. Now for articulation, his head looks about that far up, and that's kind of a disappointment. I wish he had a disc hinge. Like the double ball peg neck right here is completely useless. They didn't give it any room for him to like really tilt with that neck piece. I mean, the head moves a little bit off to the side, you know, you're not going to get that much, but not being able to look up as much, that annoys the hell out of me. So you should have had a disc hinge. He looks about that far. He doesn't even look down that much. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, man. You got your typical left and right movement, but yeah, they got to do a better job with the ball joints here at the neck. And then you got his arms that move up about that far, and that's pretty impressive. This is much higher than a traditional T-pose, and the fact that he has a shoulder pauldron and, you know, it moves that far up, I mean, that's pretty freaking impressive. There's no hindering there. I like seeing that. And, you know, you can move it down. There's the butterfly joints that move that far back, that far forward. Not much forward. You're gonna get more back movement than anything. You got the bicep swivel, you got double jointed pinless elbows, so that's good range right there. The wrist hinge, wrist swivel, the wrist hinges are the traditional horizontal hinge, no vertical hinge, and the ab crunch moves about that far forward, that far back. I believe he gets more forward. Yeah, I forgot to utilize that ball joint at the waist. Swivels, and it pivots off to the side like that. You can rock it around. Drop down legs. He's got his legs that move that far apart. Man, he could do a full split. Look at that. Marvel Legends Spider-Man can't do a full split. Damn. He kicks up that far up, real high. That far back, you get a frontward split. You can rock the legs around. You got the thigh swivel. Double jointed knees, and look at that, man. Heel to the techno butt. Perfect. You got the boot swivel. The ankles move up that far, down, and they pivot all around. All right, it's main event time, as we're going to take a look at the Heetseek missile system, H.M.S. Originally called the S.M.S. before. They changed it. I don't know why. Maybe a copyright issue thing, but whatever. Surprisingly, it's a lot larger than I expected. It measures up to about 8 inches tall if you measure it up to the top missile right here. It is 13 inches tall when you move this hinge all the way up. That's on the rotating base. Let me pan out, as you can see right there. Yeah, it's pretty tall. It's a really nice size here. That's why I have the figure out here for scale purposes. And it is really large. Again, it's a nice size, you know. I didn't want it to be any bigger. Didn't need to be any smaller, so I would say it's about the right size. And these missiles are very large, so just taking a closer look at this, you can see right here that it has a very nice sculpt and nice paint job too. You can see the Cobra logo right there. There is a port right here on the back, so I just grabbed the missile effects from the fire team to plug into, but it just doesn't look right. You know, the smoke trail should be right here, where the fiery, you know, effect should be more towards here. And it's just a bummer that they didn't give us a missile effect to attach to this, you know, so that way it can look like our missiles are launching off and give it a dynamic action look. Because if you look at the Dragonfly that's coming out, it's got those missile effects. So, you know, I want my vehicle to look like it's in action, and I kind of wish they did this here, because that would be really cool to display going up against the Dragonfly with your H.I.S.S tank, you know, have them firing at each other. But a big missed opportunity there, man. I don't know why they didn't do it, but each missile is removable. This rotating base right here, as you can see, it rotates, swivels, it hinges, as I showed you before, hinges up and down, and you got a very amazing sculpt all around. It's just nicely detailed, nicely painted. You get a lot of warnings, you know, like right there, stand back, caution. You get some lights painted on there as well. Semper Fidelis, I love that. That's just like the rest of the H.I.S.S tank. If you have the H.I.S.S tank, you can use those stickers that came with the H.I.S.S tank and maybe apply some here if you want to. Up to you. I'm not going to do that though. You got some more paint details there, more warnings like danger. Let me move this tire out the way. By the way, rolling tires, man, that makes me happy. But popping these out of the way, I don't know why it's not coming off. All right, so I tried to take the wheel off camera, and it is locked in there, man. It does not come off. I don't think it's removable. I'm not gonna risk it because I don't want to break anything. I just wanted to show you what's behind the wheel, and it says wheel lock adjust. And then on the missile rack right here, it says anti-jam, which stands for anti-aircraft joint asset movement system, equipped with hydraulic elevation mod, and it has a serial number right there. So just read it to you in case my camera doesn't focus right. And yeah, this thing is very, very nice. You got the tow hitch right here that connects to it, and it has a hinge. It's 2 hinges right there, and as you can see, you can adjust the level to it however you like. And you got some more details in there as well. So you got the legs right here that were, oh man, these were a bitch to put on. I was afraid something was gonna break, but it was a very hard snap. Didn't feel comfortable trying to pop that in. I just didn't want to break anything. And then you got the legs right here on the back. These are also adjustable. You can move up and down. So overall, this thing is very, very nice, and it's got some weight to it too. On the bottom, you got more painted details right there, which looks like a huge turbine. I like how they don't skip out on the details even on the bottom. And right here on the tow hitch, whoa, I almost poked the lens of my camera. These missiles are large, man. Let me move it this way. I might poke my eye out or something. But you get these nice diamond steel grating painted in a nice metallic silver. It just looks so good, so clean. I really like that. Then over on this side, you get a removable panel right here. So you can see there's like this kind of tab. You could just pull, I think you got to pull it up or pull it out. There we go, pull it out. You get this nice panel inside of another panel. So very cool. Got sculpted buttons on there, so you could take your Techno-Viper and he could do all his beep boop beep and all that stuff. So could have used a little more paint details, but again, it's nice to have that for photography options. All right, now I'm going to show you how to attach the H.M.S to the H.I.S.S tank. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to have this because I love the fact that we can have more add-on content for the H.I.S.S tank. So you're just going to take this tow hitch right here, move it down, and then this tow hitch, you just lower it down to the bottom right here, and then all you're going to do is just connect this part to the tow hitch. And there you go. It's pretty easy right there. All right, now my camera zoomed out so you can see everything all together. And it looks so much more badass. As if the H.I.S.S tank didn't look badass enough. You're just adding more badassery to it. And as you can see, it rolls nicely with the tank. So it looks good that way. And if you turn it, it doesn't affect anything. Sorry, I gotta have my hand here to hold the poster board on the surface. But yeah, as you can see, it doesn't have any problems turning. I'm working with a little bit of space here, so bear with me. But I absolutely love this. And we already know this thing was already 20 inches across, and if you add the H.M.S, it's at almost 30 inches. So that is really impressive. So just make sure you got a lot of space on your shelf if you want to display this all together. I have the missiles facing forward towards the H.I.S.S tank, but if you want to do it like the old school way, you can display it behind, away from the H.I.S.S tank. So that's also a cool look. And don't worry if you see this facing downwards, because like I said, you got an adjustable tow hitch right here. So you can adjust it how you like and make it look leveled. So I usually keep it like right there. There's like a slight tilt going downwards so that it stays level. But if I'm doing it wrong, please let me know. At least I think it is, because I have no problem when rolling it back and forth and, you know, turning the vehicle and whatsoever. So it maneuvers just fine. Time to compare this new Cobra H.I.S. Techno-Viper next to his OG purple version. Here he is next to some other Vipers in red color schemes like the Crimson Viper and Crimson Alley Viper. Here he is next to the Cobra H.I.S. Driver and Cobra H.I.S. Gunner. Lastly, here is the Cobra H.I.S. Techno-Viper alongside his fellow Cobra H.I.S. Fireteam 788 squad mates. We have the Cobra H.I.S. Tactician, Cobra H.I.S. Officer, Cobra H.I.S. Infantry, and the Cobra H.I.S. Range Viper. Some of the grays may not match all the way amongst these, but most importantly, they all share the main color combos of red and black. And now to wrap things up, my final rating is an 8.75 out of 10. If you already own the purple Techno-Viper, then you know what to expect with this figure. It's a really good figure with some really well done put together accessories, especially that translucent data pad. Gotta love that. But the articulation on the neck area is poorly designed to not function as it should. Very limited range. Everywhere else the articulation is fine and the sculpt blends beautifully with it, like how the shoulder pauldrons rotate along with moving the arms around and even moving them outward and up. There's no hindrance whatsoever. The H.M.S. is the main highlight here. Let's face it, for those of us who purchased this set, this is what we wanted the most. Now, as much as I love this thing, it is very pricey considering they didn't include proper launching missile effects to connect to each missile for display. After seeing the Cobra Ferret for $55, there's no way you can convince me that this is $75. Now, I'll admit that there's a little more going on to this than that of the Ferret, but it feels like it should have been $60 to $65 at the very least, not in the 70s. Makes it difficult to army build to match any H.I.S. tanks if you bought multiples. If it came with those larger missile effects needed and some extra hands for the Techno-Viper, then I would deem the $75 price tag justifiable. Those are my only gripes, but everything else, there's a lot I love about it. It's beautifully crafted in sculpt and design, great paint apps all over, and functioning playable parts that increases fun factor, not just for this particular piece, but adding even more high replay value on top of your H.I.S. tanks. Makes it feel very rewarding, and if there's no longer any more add-ons for the H.I.S. tank, then this is the final cherry on top. And I'm cool with that because it's always going to be fun anytime revisiting another playthrough. Now I kick it back to you. What do you think of this H.M.S. set? Anyone army building these? Are you going to display it attached to the H.I.S. tank or separately if you don't have any real estate on the shelf? Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. Thanks for watching another G.I. Joe Classified Series review. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at xman87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.